Hey, my chickadees. Welcome back to the back 40. It's Juju. Okay. Well, Bon Bon said she needed a Freaky Friday story. So I figured I sit here and make my little journaling cards for our, 1,500 journals we trying to do. And tell a story. And since I told her the Three Little Pigs story, I guess I figured I'd follow it up with that same old bad wolf and do the Little Red Riding Hood. Now, Bon Bon is red-headed, so she will enjoy this here story. Once upon a time, bless you, in a land somewhere, there was a little girl named Little Red Riding Hood. Little Red Riding Hood and her mama lived in the city. Her grandma lived out in the country, in the middle of no diggum where. So, Little Red Riding Hood's grandma just wasn't feeling quite so well. So Little Red Riding Hood asked her mama, please, mama, please let me take grandma some cookies. Now, why you would take somebody some cookies who ain't feeling well, I don't know. Should have been some chicken soup. But anyway, it was some cookies. So she took grandma some cookies in her little basket and had a basket full of goodies. And she trying to give grandma the diabetes, I guess, inherit something. But anyway, she gets on her little trail and she starts off for grandma's house. And when she goes to grandma's house, she's got to go through the forest. Whew. I don't know about y'all, but I'm scared of the dark forest. But anyhow, she goes on and goes through the forest. And while she's walking through the forest, that old big bad wolf, who don't ever seem to have enough food, got to smelling her basket of goodies. And more so than that, he got to smelling Little Red Riding Hood. He thought, that Bonnie chick make me some good old meal. She's a little scrawny, but I think I can make a snack out of her. So he started watching her. Little Red Riding Hood was walking through the forest. And she kind of, got that feeling. You know how you get that feeling like somebody watching you? So she put it in high gear. She just going to have to hustle it on grandma's house. So she gets on, going to grandma's house. That old bad wolf just keeps watching her. And he starts to follow her. Okay? First of all, you should never go nowhere with that girlfriend. Hey, you back. But anyhow. So, she goes on and she starts going to her grandma's house. Well, that Little Red that big bad wolf, he been watching grandma's house because he figured that little old lady was frail and he could bust up in there and get him something. But see, this lumberjack dude been hanging around grandma's house just waiting for Little Red Riding Hood to come along. Now that there's another issue. We're not going to talk about that because it was in the story. But anyhow, that's a little, white band stuff, but whatever. So, he couldn't do nothing to grandma because, this lumberjack dude's been hanging around. And he had a big old axe. So, he gets to go in and watch. Well, the lumberjack dude takes him a break. He leaves. So, he decides it's his time. He is going to do it. So, he jumps up in there in the house and he shamrackles grandma, throws a whooping up on her and throws her up in that closet and gobbles her on down. Gets up in her bedclothes, jumps up in her bed, puts her thing on his head, covers it up so he could just look like it's just him up in the bed like Grandma. By this time, Little Red Riding Hood comes on up in the Grandma's house. And she says, Grandma, because you know Bonnie talks like that. Grandma, how you doing, Grandma? And then she looks at her and she thoughts, Now who he thinks he fooling. Then she says, oh, Grandma, what big old eyes you have. And she says, well, Dave, if you come a little closer, I can see you better with them. Little Red Riding Hood thinks, he ain't as smart as he thinks he is. Then she says, but Grandma, what big old ears you got? Now right there, you ought not be talking about your grandma's ears, but anyhow. She says, oh, the better to hear you with, my dear, the better to hear you with. Come sit down by the bed and tell me what your mom and them been up to. So, she looks at her and she says, but Grandma, what big old sharp teeth you got? And the wolf said he done had enough of this. And he jumps out that bed and he says, the better to eat you with. And he jumped. That sounded kind of gremlin-like. Anyway. He jumps up on her and goes to commencing of trying to gobble her on down. Well, in our version of the story, we don't need no lumberjack who's old enough to be a mom, her daddy, trying to save us. So, we're going to get this here, wolf. So, we get to struggling. And the wolf gets to struggling. And he says, like, slow down. I'm going to eat you up. Well, by that time, the lumberjack come busting through talking about, hey, Grandma, we got something to eat. Little Red Riding Hood grabs that axe, whops that big old wolf upside the head, jumps up in there and hollers, Grandma, Grandma. Grandma's up in his stomach kicking and carrying on. Why, she pops open that wolf and gets that grandma out their belly. And they all have supper. So, the moral of this here story is don't wait on a pedophile to help you, because he just might be too late, too slow, and $1 short, and let your grandma get ate all up. Y'all have a good one. Night, night.